Friends, this is a cataract with grade 3 nuclear sclerosis and pseudoexfoliation. Let us observe this surgery. This is the main incision at around 10 o'clock, and now this is a side port at around 2 o'clock. I'm placing the incisions about 4 clock hours apart because this patient may need trabeculectomy in future. Trypan blue dye is applied over the anterior capsule underneath an air bubble, and now the dye is washed out. And now 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose is injected into the anterior chamber. And now capsule rhexis. Now watch. As I try to make a puncture onto the anterior capsule, there was a wrinkling of the anterior capsule, which indicates generalized zonular weakness. As soon as you try to poke the anterior capsule kinks. This indicates generalized zonular weakness. Capsule rhexis has been done. We must be very gentle. There should not be any jerky pull while doing capsule rhexis. Hydrodissection is done very gently, and then the nucleus is rotated. The antechamber is again filled up with 2% SPMC, and now is the time to introduce the Phaco needle into the anterior chamber. In this case, the bottle height has been reduced and vacuum has been reduced to 350 millimeter of mercury. Flow rate is 35. Ultrasonic energy is 50%. Now here goes the Phaco needle with its bevel down. Very gently some superficial cortical lens matter is removed, and now I'm going to divide the nucleus into some pieces. The handpiece has been turned to make the bevel up. Now the nucleus is healed with vacuum, and the nucleus is neither pushed nor pulled. It is just healed, and the handpiece is placed right there, and the chopper does the job of dividing the nucleus into some pieces. I did many smaller pieces in this case, and then emulsified each nuclear piece with ultrasonic energy. Very gently we must do this. We must always watch the stability of the anterior chamber. There should not be any surge. A little surge means you may catch the posterior capsule because the zonule is weak. This is the last nuclear piece. At this time I reduced the vacuum further to about 200 and flow rate 20. And I didn't try to remove the cortex by the handpiece itself in this case. Safer instrument is a Simcoe cannula, where you are ready with reflux. Anytime you catch the posterior capsule or you watch zonular dehiscence, immediately you can reflux. Response time is quicker with Simcoe. Response time with bimanual irrigation aspiration or coaxial irrigation aspiration may be a little longer. In this case, I am removing the cortex bit by bit, holding the pieces, gently pulling it out and flushing it outside, because I found that the fibers are sticky and it was difficult to aspirate those lens material. And this is the rest of the nucleus. It was possible to aspirate this part. And now I don't want to take any risk. In this case, I want to use Visco, no hydroimplantation. Zonule is weak. If I try to do hydroimplantation, lot of fluid may go through the weak zonule into the antivitreous, and there can be acute intraoperative rock hard eye syndrome, EIRES. To avoid that, I just used Visco to fill up the capsular bag and place the lens in the capsular bag. And now I can remove the Visco very nicely. I'm gently irrigating BSS in the anterior chamber, and then I go behind the eye well. Yes, it is very important to go behind the eye well and remove the Visco from the capsular bag. Here it is. I go behind the eye well and use flushing, use reflux and irrigate the capsular bag. After irrigating for a few seconds, I aspirate, and thus lot of Visco has been removed. Now I take the irrigating cannula of bimanual IA and the aspirating cannula also. Irrigating cannula is being used to irrigate the anterior chamber. I didn't go behind the eye well with the irrigating cannula. This is a bit of moxifloxacin. We have only one side port. Close the side port by hydrogenating corneal stroma on either side of this paracentesis wound. And now this is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. Again, I went behind the eye well, flushed, aspirated, formed the SC very nicely, and conclude the case. Thank you very much for your attention.